I want to throw open this debate now. Rahul Ishwar has been gunning for Ranveer Allahabadi and the kind of humor that's going around. We have Kushal Mehra joining us. He's a podcaster, and I have Anish Gawande from the NCP. Let me go across to Rahul Ishwar first, because the fear that a lot of content creators have is that so far they've been able to say and do what they want, and the fact is that during the Lok Sabha elections, for example, YouTube content became one of the principal forms of opposition against the ruling BJP. That this could be used as an opportunity, this hearing in the Supreme Court could be used as an opportunity to try and clamp down on free speech on YouTube. Why then are you of the view that Ranveer Allahabadi has committed a crime and action needs to be taken against him? Rahul Ishwar.
Rahul Kavalji, two submissions. First of all, the twin sister of liberty is responsibility. The twin brother of creativity is sensitivity. There is no liberty and creativity without responsibility and sensitivity. We are living under a false illusion that there is absolute free speech. No, there is only responsible free speech. Hate speech, perversion should be filtered out, should be blocked. That's the responsibility of the society. Second, I am a Hindu right-wing activist. I lean towards the right-wing spectrum that Ranveer Allahabadi is also leaning to. But the larger point is, beyond politics, we all value family ethics, family values. There are some sacred things that we should not cross the Lakshmana Rekha with. One is family, one is faith. Rahul Kavalji may remember, I was the first person to file complaint against Sadhvi Prachi for her absolutely irritating anti-Muslim comments, Islamophobic comments saying that we need a Muslim Mukt Bharat. I filed an FIR, sent it to UP Election Commission, made sure that she was not allowed to campaign. I am a Hindu right-wing activist too. There are some decencies that we all have to maintain. Sanjay sir is a very senior advocate, we all respect. But at the same point of time, this is the issue with the liberals. Many times they close their eyes and they believe that some realities are not there. See, nobody is saying that, no, I am not the Aloknath kind of sanskari. I am not the holier than thou kind of a person. See, but we are all modern, we understand. But, I have two kids in my home. My, elder son wants to be a YouTuber. I don't want him to see these kind of content and get influenced. And, when they grow up, they shouldn't be seeing this perversion. And YouTube has community guidelines, Facebook has community guidelines, Instagram has community guidelines. But shouldn't India have some kind of a community guideline? We cannot live in anarchy. See,
okay.
These are two.
So those are important points. I'm going to get Kushal Mehra to respond. We can't have anarchy. It cannot be free for all. There must be some national community guidelines, and that's reasonable. The thing is that this is not even the worst of what this character or others like him have said. Some of the content is really wild. Now, the one is that let them say what they want, let whoever wants to watch it, watch it. That's the argument that was made by Sanjay Hegde. However, Rahul Ishwar's argument is no, he's not comfortable with his children, his family watching this, and there should be some national community guidelines.
But there are guidelines. There are guidelines. I'm actually kind of appalled that nobody seems to know how the internet works. If you put on an OTT app, I'm just using an OTT as an example, Rahul, you would see different profile names, right? And it's there is a classification for kids. Those profiles are existent on YouTube too. For example, I don't even swear, or maybe not even 0.5% of my podcast would have any swear word by my guest, but I by default mark every single product of mine that I put online as 18 plus, because I just, and the moment when you log into your YouTube channel account, if you're not 18 plus, you can't access my podcast. It's as simple as that. And there are multiple other guidelines that can be done. Rahul, we are making a classic mistake over here where I think bad parenting has been confused with something else. I think it's a classic case of bad parenting where parents have outsourced the raising of their children to devices, and now they want the state to manage the device instead of them managing the device. This is a classic case where I am a bad parent, for example, hypothetical parent here, and I am like, I don't need to waste my time doing all these things. So how about I give powers to the state?
Let Rahul Ishwar respond to that argument. You do your job as a parent. You guide what your children can do. You put the right age controls. Why do you want the nanny state to do this for you?
Please remember, state is a parent state. Nanny state is a purposeful derogatory term to say that state should not have any kind of ethics. State does have ethics, and we have even learned from very earlier class that family is the basic unit of society. There are some values, some decency that we have to keep. Perversion, child pornography, rape tube, these things are not acceptable in the
No,
name
but
of
those are
safety.
part of YouTube's community guidelines already.
Exactly. Similarly,
So
national
why
guidelines.
then do you want extra guidelines?
We want extra guidelines because the internet is proliferating at a very fast rate and people are content, especially young people are consuming content. Better checks and balances will be good for our society, and government should bring in regulation and not restriction. Government should bring in regulation, some kind of monitoring, so that and there should also be check and balances or checks and balances too.
No, but
Because
given the
everybody
fact that
should
there are
be part of
millions of minutes of video being created every week, who's going to sit and monitor? That's like, monitoring television channels or the newspaper is bad enough. Who's going to sit and watch all these videos which go on sometimes for 3, 4 hours?
That's the reason why we need laws with teeth, so that if somebody is raising a complaint, the police is empowered to take some sections, or courts can deal with such sections.
No, but
That's the
let's
reason
assume
why-
that Kushal Mehra says something in his podcast which you don't agree with, and you file a complaint, you want laws with teeth, you'll have Kushal jailed.
See, it is not about sending somebody to jail. It is somebody of creating an example. Nobody wants Ranveer to be in jail, but we all want Ranveer to learn a lesson. That's the reason why
Okay,
he himself said,
let
I'm the
Kushal
last
respond to
person
this. You make one fellow an example, it has a chilling effect, then everybody says, okay, that guy got into trouble, let's not overdo it. Let's pull back on some of the crassness of our humor and let's try and just be more sober.
Okay, Rahul, I'm just going to use historical examples. Prohibition beyond a point. See, everything in life has a Laffer's curve in terms of effectivity is concerned. I'm using the analogy of the Laffer's curve to explain to people that taxation also works where a little too much tax or a little no tax situation. Taxation also has a sweet spot. Censorship also has to have a sweet spot. I can guarantee you, let's say actually, Sanjay Hegde was right. You either create a North Korea or a China-like situation in India, or you have to deal with this. Because
No, but why
Rahul,
take it to the extremity of a binary? It's not
Rahul,
text.
because I
It's not
think
an
people
either or.
don't understand how the internet works, Rahul. I think we're being naive here. I want to be as respectful as possible, but this is the naivete of the Indian internet user that think they can control the. Now look at this entire controversy, Rahul. India's Got Latent was behind a paywall. Everybody could not watch it, right? It was behind a paywall, marked 18 and above, behind everything. Guess what was not behind a paywall even right now? Kill Tony, which India Got Latent, is a copy of, and Kill Tony is way more edgy than India's Got Latent can ever be. What are you going to do? Jail the American? Tony Hinchcliffe? What are we going to do?
That's an
Rahul?
important point. Let me
Control.
put that question as Anish listens on. I want to go across Rahul Ishwar because that's an important argument that there is content internationally which may be way more offensive or way more edgy, describe it whichever way you will, than the content being produced inside India. What are you going to do about that, Rahul Ishwar?
Rahulji, there is always a middle ground possible. It is not between North Korea and an absolute anarchy. See, nobody
No, but
likes
take
to
this
say the
specific
North-
example
For
of a
example,
show
take
which
this-
is highly abusive, but the show is an international show. It's available on YouTube. What will you do?
I mean, if somebody is raising a complaint, government should be empowered enough to take an action. For example, what happens if somebody is airing anti-national content? What happens if somebody is airing how to create bombs? See, the issues with the pseudo-liberals is they think they are the only intelligent people. Whereas, please understand, we are all responsible and we know how to deal with things. And if you are crossing the line, we will come with a case for you. Please remember.
Okay,
And you can
Kushal
laugh all the
Mehra
time
wants
you
to
want,
respond
but
and
you
then I
will
promise
know
to go
what
to
Ranveer
Anish.
has to do.
Kushal, he's looking very
All-
agitated.
all I have understood is, I have been as respectful as I can to Rahul. Rahul seems to be taking offense on behalf of the whole world. Rahul, I just want to let you know, all this pseudo-liberal ad hominem, you might get away with this on television studios, but you only sound silly, Rahul. Please,
Sir, you are
if you
sounding
can
silly.
give a rational argument,
Sir, you are sounding silly.
argument,
And please remember, you can have your smirk and kind of disrespect all you have. I didn't do that. You pseudo liberals can do that, but try something like Ranveer, and we will see you in court.
Rahul, again, you
Sir,
will
you
see
are
me in
again-
court if I do something. But the
You
point
try
is,
something like Ranveer Lahlabadia. We will see. See, the point is,
Yeah.
this is the issue. They don't understand the sensitivity of the people. They don't know to respect family values. And they think they have all the knowledge in the world. What in the world, sir, you have? See, this kind of extreme liberal arguments are bad for any society for that matter.
Okay,
This is
Rahul
the
Ishwar, you made your argument. Let
values.
Kushal Mehra respond.
Yeah, see, this is why I don't do TV, because people don't talk over each other. It's as simple as that. I actually personally don't agree with Ranveer Alabadia. I'm someone who actually would follow the Rahul Ishwar route. I'm actually very much into family values and all of that. But my thing is simple. I'm nobody to tell Ranveer Alabadia what he's supposed to do with his life.
Yeah.
That's my point. Why? Because I don't want the government to be powerful. And I'll explain it with an example. Today, maybe, I've never hidden, I'm a BJP voter, right? Maybe the BJP may not be nasty to me. Tomorrow the Congress comes to power. I don't want any government to have any kind of power to use it against people they don't like. The moment and the day people in this country will realize that you should not give the state so much power, Rahul, they can do it to you too. And Rahul, I wanted to address the thing that you were saying, that, oh, radio has to follow guidelines, TV has to follow guidelines, everybody has to follow guidelines. Rahul, even the internet has guidelines. It's not that the internet doesn't have guidelines. Rahul, do you think Indian laws don't apply to the internet? They do apply to the internet, right? But unfortunately, the technology is such that we've not adjusted ourselves to the new reality. Now, I personally do believe in family values. You know what I do when I see all these things? I don't consume them. I don't consume Indian comedy. I don't consume most of these things. So what are you going to do?
Anish, I want to go across to Anish Gawande from the NCP. Where do you come out on this, Anish? We're having a raging debate in the studio about whether YouTube content should be regulated or not. Anish.
I think I've listened patiently and Rahul, I've listened patiently and realized only one thing, that we're trying to find 18th century solutions to 21st century problems, right? The reality is that as much as we would like to, we cannot censor the internet. The last time the government tried, they got to page 10 of Google search results and then gave up because some Sarkari Babu was in charge of this entire process. Now let's see the precedent for this, right? Look at where section 67 of the IT Act has been used. It's been used against Munawar Farooqi, it's been used against Asim Trivedi, it's been used against Umesh Khare, the rapper. You know where it hasn't been used? Against the Sully Bai case, where there were people being auctioned off online, Muslim women being auctioned off online. You know where it hasn't been used? In cases of child pornography, where the Karnataka High Court was forced to reverse its own order. You know, Ranveer ek bahana hai, broadcasting bill lana hai. The government wants this power to be able to censor content online that they don't agree with. This is power being placed in the hands of a government that has shown no capability or no ability actually to censor on moral grounds. It has only
Let Rahul Ishwar respond to this.
Grounds.
Those who
So
like this government will not get
into
into trouble. Those who don't like this government and take positions which the BJP may be opposed to, they're the ones who end up in jail. Anish Gawande is citing past precedent to predict what may happen in the future.
See, Rahul Kavalji, without politics, every government may be prone to misuse. That's the reason why courts will be there. As I earlier said, I filed a case against Satya Prachi and made sure that she was not able to campaign because she has crossed the line. See, Indian laws should apply. I agree with Mehraji. Indian law, IT Act 67 is there. 67A is there. BNS 296 is there. So shouldn't these apply to online platforms too? All we are saying is we need to create a moderate middle ground. And that moderate middle ground, we can debate where to draw the line.
He's saying don't treat it as a binary, look for a moderate middle ground. Anish.
No, but even today the Supreme Court has said that this is obscene content, but not told me why this content is obscene. These laws are kept purposefully vague. Even the new broadcasting bill, a draft of which we've only seen a few months ago, says that anything that harms public interest can be banned with a fine of 50 lakhs for the first time and 2.5 crores for the second offense within 3 years. Now this Lakshman Rekha is going to be drawn by the same people who are morally policing us and do not have the ability to police their own members. You know, for all of the moral outrage that has been generated by the party in power over the last few years, you know, the reality is that in 3 states, Karnataka, then Gujarat, then more recently Tripura, MLAs were caught watching porn in the assembly. What happened to them? Which party were they from? Has one of them not been promoted to deputy chief minister before the government fell? So this moral outrage is silly. And when the court itself does not give me any reason, it makes me scared that the court will then be in the hands of anybody who is going to raise outrage.
Rahul
You're
Ishwar,
going to
respond
find
to what you're hearing from Anish Dhawan.
Anish, he has sought
How many
rejoinder.
people
See,
can
please
afford?
remember,
How many people can afford to
Okay,
go to the Supreme
Anish, you've
Court?
spoken. Let Rahul
Anish,
Ishwar respond.
just one submission. See, obscene is very tough to pinpoint and define, but we all know obscene when you see it. For example, cracking sex jokes with parents, or what Ranbir said. You can ask me what is the obscenity in it. He is he not having the freedom to do it? Why can't he speak about that? He's not speaking about your parents. You can create a lot of justification. See, you can rightly question Modi ji's government. That's up to them to answer. But we need such parameters. We cannot live in any kind of anarchy. The arguments you use against law can be used against any law for that matter. That's the reason why some kind of check and balance where the society can decide, medias, courts can decide. If somebody is misusing it, courts can definitely step in. See, for example, Subair, the things were misused against Subair. So there was a check and balance coming from the court. So it can be, the misuse should be prevented.
No, but check and balance took a lot of time. The guy was hounded for a very long time, Rahul Ishwar.
That's true.
No,
That's true. That's very unfortunate. That's true. Me being a right winger has no shame in admitting that people like Subair, even though I disagree with him vehemently, should not be hounded. He's a fact checker. I may disagree with his positions. This is the reason why. See, you cannot have fear of people misusing a law and not having a law at all. Anarchy is never the solution. So enlightened and reasonable regulations should be there.
Enlightened regulations. That's what he's asking for. Kushal Mehra, I'm running out of time. I'm going to give you a last word.
Rahul Ishwar sounds like the rebirth of Jawaharlal Nehru, where he added the reasonable restrictions in the entire first amendment. I think Rahul Ishwar is the representation of Jawaharlal Nehru now, because it was.
Yeah, go on, Kushal.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you cannot monitor this. Best of luck. Anybody who gets 1 million plus subscribers, all you're telling them is get an O1 visa, go to America, change the bank account, keep creating content, make more money. Best of luck.
Try anti